24 years of captivity, over 3,000 assaults, forced to give birth to 7 children. It sounds like a horrifying statistic, yet every moment of it happened to Lisa. Trapped in a small, square basement with her eldest daughter, she struggled to survive. Just above them, her twisted father Tom lived comfortably in a spacious 3-story villa. To reward Lisa for agreeing to have a 3rd child, Tom brought down an old television set. Lisa was overjoyed. It was the only window to the outside world, the only way she could teach her children and give them a glimpse of a life they might never have. 3 years passed. Lisa not only raised her daughter in that damp, suffocating space, but also gave birth to a baby boy. Despite the darkness, she never stopped dreaming of escape. Meanwhile, her mother never stopped searching for her. "I'll find a private investigator." "How do you know I was going to say that?" "You know what? I don't even care anymore. I'll find her myself." One day, during a heated argument between the parents upstairs, Lisa's sister Amy spotted something unusual, a key Tom accidentally dropped. He had never let it out of his sight. Suspicious and determined, Amy searched the basement. She had always felt that Lisa's sudden disappearance had something to do with their father, but under his immense pressure, she left empty-handed, unaware that just behind the wall, Lisa was in the middle of a painful childbirth. She delivered a boy, but the cramped basement couldn't hold 3 people for long. "If I didn't have to waste so much time taking care of the child, I could serve you better," Lisa said. Tom thought for a moment, then carried the baby upstairs. He said it would ease the family's worries and remove suspicion from himself. His wife was overjoyed with the arrival of a new child, never noticing the small note Lisa had tucked away. Tom did. Enraged, he lashed out, channeling his frustration into yet another brutal beating. Lisa endured 7 more years of torment. As the eldest daughter grew into a young woman, she started to take pride in her appearance. One day, Tom stared at her a little too long, complimenting her looks. His gaze wandered inappropriately. Lisa immediately sensed danger. She pulled her daughter aside and begged Tom not to touch her in front of the children. Tom held back his anger, slamming the door on his way out, but his rage was only growing. As time passed and the children matured, Lisa pinned her last hopes on a spoon. She had been secretly digging near the wall. When the rainwater softened the ground, she believed escape might finally be possible. She shone a flashlight through the cracks, and the beam was seen by a neighbor. But instead of calling the police, the neighbor informed Tom. Furious, he stormed into the basement. Lisa, exhausted and drenched in sweat, could barely move. Another wave of pain hit her hard. Her face twisted in agony as she clenched the mattress and sobbed through another night of labor. Tom didn't show up until the next morning. He didn't ask a single question, just coldly took the baby and buried it in the garden. Lisa endured the suffering for the sake of her children, but when they began questioning her, unable to understand why they were trapped, blaming her for everything, she finally broke. She knocked over the cupboard, scattered all the neatly arranged things, and then lay down quietly, drained of all strength. Her children, though, showed compassion. They covered her with a blanket and cleaned up the mess. Once Lisa had calmed down, she decided to tell them the truth. "Do you understand what I'm saying?" No, I don't. I'm sorry." The cruel truth was too much to bear. Lisa comforted them as they broke down. Though she finally had their understanding, life only became harder. Tom, now middle-aged, lost his job. Supplies dwindled. They couldn't even meet basic needs anymore. Lisa tried to ask for more, but he humiliated her. "You need to take better care of yourself. You look like a criminal." "Shut up." Her son couldn't take it. He stood up and tried to fight back, but he was just a child, no match for Tom. Escape was the only option. Lisa began digging through a ventilation duct. Meanwhile, Tom, desperate to cut costs, hatched a sinister plan. He took a pipe, attached one end to the basement's exhaust fan and the other to his car's exhaust. He started the engine. He intended to poison all 3 of them to death in their sleep, an easy way to be rid of them. Toxic fumes slowly crept into the room, but then he hesitated. If the eldest daughter died too, he wouldn't get what he wanted, so he stopped the engine. However, the methane had already taken its toll. The daughter, who had asthma, got worse. Her breathing became shallow. She was barely conscious. "She has cancer. She can barely breathe. She needs a hospital." No, we can't risk it. She's dying. "Do you hate us that much?" Tom weighed the options and finally agreed. She could go to the hospital, but the boy would have to stay in the basement as insurance. For the first time in 24 years, Lisa returned upstairs. There was no time to be sentimental. This was her only chance to escape. While Tom was distracted at the reception, Lisa intentionally knocked over a cup. When he turned away to deal with it, she ran straight into a nurse's arms and begged for help. Tom was arrested. He received 15 years in prison, and the family, trapped in a nightmare for more than 2 decades, was finally free.